So I was thinking, we were talking about like things that make us happy. Like if you need a good dopamine hit that's not your phone, that's not social media, like what do? You and I have talked about our love of napping. Like taking a quick reset nap
Totally.
is a game changer.
Napping, it's, I guess the older we've gotten, it just becomes more and more appreciated,
Well, it's
needed.
also our hours.
Totally.
Our hours are stupid.
So for me, as you know, and I don't know if the listeners know, I've been working more from home these last couple of weeks in the new year for the month of January. And what I'll do is I'll start work when the morning show starts, and then after I get done with my post show stuff, I will take a nap.
Yeah.
And then get up in the early afternoon and then finish some work in the afternoon.
Yep.
And then, because I just need that little break.
It's a reset.
Totally. And then, like, it's a little recharge the batteries and then go and finish the rest of the afternoon strong and get the rest of the stuff done. Because the other thing, too, is, as you said before, our jobs are pretty much 24/7, but also some of our coworkers, they have like normal office hours. So they're dealing with stuff in the late afternoon.
Right.
And so if they need questions or stuff answered from us or things done, we can get it done at that time, too.
Yeah.
So
we work nonstop, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, napping is a big thing. At Chris Relva, to answer your question, her name is Caitlin Doughty.
Okay.
And the name of the book is From Here to Eternity, Traveling the World to Find the Good Death.
Ooh.
Very, very good. I don't know if you can see my screen, but no, you can't. But it's really, really cool. I'll post it. So being active is another thing. Now, I'm active every day. I'm doing some sort of like walking, running, weights at the gym, whatever. But like if you can do that in sunshine, and I know right now that's hard because it is so dreary. Thank you, January.
Yeah. There's no Santa Claus to get me through it.
That dopamine, that serotonin, like really helps a lot.
I am really starting to understand that since working from home these last few weeks. As much as I love working from home, I feel like I'm being more productive, getting a lot of stuff done.
Yeah.
At the same time, I do feel a little bit of a glut, or just like a blob, because I'm not as being walking around active. I'm like wearing my basketball shorts and like I'm just, I'm not getting dressed to come to work. I know I don't have the best fashion when it comes to work stuff, but I'm dressed. I take the time to dress to get here, but at home I'm like even more chilled out clothing attire. So I'm with you. I'm not going outside as much.
Okay, I'm going to stop down and give you a little advice because I've been working partially from home for like 8 years, since Cody was born, basically, because that's when I built my new home studio. What I found is it's really important to keep that same sense of routine.
Yes.
Like even at home, every morning I get up, I get ready, I put my makeup on, and I get dressed in real clothes. Because I have found, and it took me a while to figure this out. That's why I'm giving this as advice.
Okay.
Because I found that I was feeling that way. I wasn't as motivated. I didn't feel ready to take on the day because it felt like I was like cozy in my house clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I just treat it as if it's a normal work day.
Okay.
But what I do with the getting up, I set an alarm on my Apple Watch or my phone at 10 till the hour. Every hour, it'll buzz me to stand up.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And so I'll go and I'll just literally do a loop around the backyard. Like I'll just go pee, go do a loop around the backyard, maybe get some more coffee and kind of do a little couple stretches and then go back. Just like getting up for just 10 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes will make all the difference in the world.
Okay.
Go in your backyard, look up at the sun. As Jay says, Jay starts every morning this way. He's very hippy-dippy about it.
Yeah.
He takes off his shoes. He goes outside. He stands in the grass and he like connects with the earth.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Takes some deep breaths, puts his face to the sun. Like he's very, very about that.
I wonder.
It's a really good way to start.
I'm just thinking, take a lap around my house or outside, but then like after the show, maybe do a lap around the block.
Yeah, just around the block. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. And it can add up. Like that's the other thing is people think, well, like to exercise, it has to be like I have to go run for an hour. No, you don't. You can take like 3 10-minute walks a day, and all of a sudden you've got all those steps in and you've walked for 30 minutes throughout the day.
Gotcha.
You can do it in chunks, but just getting up and moving a little bit will help a lot with like a little bit of a boost if you're feeling like you need one. Also, play some music or watch a show you love. I'm not really a watch a show I love kind of person. I'm not a huge TV person, but I consider social media kind of that.
I realize it's really tough for me to watch TV now. I feel like
it's an attention span issue.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
It's hard for me to focus now.
Yeah. Because usually you're like, you've got so much going on.
And I feel like I watch more stuff on YouTube, either podcasts or podcast clips or just watching wrestling because there's so much wrestling out there I just watch. And I realize like I'm so far behind on so many shows like Cobra Kai. There's a bunch of other shows I really want to watch that I just don't sit down and watch. And I realize I have a attention issue. Like
It's all of us.
Yeah.
We're all like that. I have a question for you. When you sit down, let's say you're watching Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Do you sit down and watch that? Like you just sit still. You're not on your phone. Your phone's not in your hand. You're like not doing other things on the computer.
I
like you're
try
just
to.
sitting there.
Sometimes in the past, I will pause and look at social media because there's no commercials theoretically. Like when you're watching something on Netflix, there's no commercials. I will make my own commercial break.
Right.
I'll hit pause and I'll check social media for like a couple minutes and then hit play again.
Yeah. So the only time I watch a show like that uninterrupted is when I'm watching TV with Jay. And that's only because I feel like, or we've discussed this, like we don't have our phones in our hands while we're watching TV together because we're distracted. So we'll like bond over what we're watching. Mm-hmm. We have like one show we're watching right now. Good Girls. Very good show, by the way.
Okay.
Also really dark. Sorry. My books are dark. My TV shows are dark. It's all dark. But I will find myself like, if I'm watching something on TV that's on YouTube, I will like find myself sort of float, my brain float.
Which I realize a lot of my, quote, TV watching is taken up by watching stuff on YouTube, which, shameless plug, if you're watching right now, please hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Hope we can be part of your Monday live watch along.
I love it.
And also, working on, I know the audio version. It's up on the Bones RSS feed. So wherever you get your Bones podcast, Chasta Huey's been living there now.
Absolutely. Yes, I love it. All right, so let's recap.
Okay.
Get moving, take a nap, get outside. So you could get moving and get outside at the same time if it's at all possible, weather permitting. Play some music, man. Nothing will change your mood. Shout out to Paul Tonelli this weekend.
I know.
Oh, my God. He texted you and I, and he sent us a playlist. And he was like, do your homework, go through it. I think it's really badass because it's all his stuff that he loves.
I respect what he's been doing with his extra free time
Me
now.
too.
Yes,
I love it.
I love it.
He's living his best life. He's going, he walks like 8 miles a day.
I know.
It's amazing.
When I saw him back
traveling.
when I saw him in December, he looked great.
Oh, yeah. No, he's happy as a little
well rested.
Yes.
And he's got his physique he's still slimmed down, toned down. So he's looking great.
No, he looks great. He was sending me, I think it was Friday night, he was texting me like 1 million videos. And I'm like, what is he doing? And I looked, and for some reason his phone only records 30 seconds at a time. So he's sending me the whole song, but in 30-second chunks. Because he knew Little Wing is one of my favorite songs of all time. And this ripping guitar player at the saloon he was at in San Francisco was playing it. And so he's like, oh my God, this is Chasta. So he sent me like 8 videos. Anyway, my point to that is he sent this playlist that it was phenomenal. And it was all stuff that's like we don't normally talk about, bond over. It wasn't a whole lot of rock. It was like other stuff. And it was really, really good.
And that's something I think you and I are very lucky to get to know of Paul Tonelli.
Mm-hmm.
He has a really great, rich love and passion for music.
Big time.
And there's a lot of great bands and songs he'll introduce us to or remind us about. And it's like, wow, he knows his stuff.
Oh, he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, and current stuff and old stuff and everything in between. It is remarkable how similar his taste and my taste in music that is like non-rock, if you will, or rock adjacent.
Or like bluesy
influence.
Bluesy,
jazzy, Zydeco.
Yeah.
Like, so good, so good.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you, Paul Tonelli. That gave me a huge boost of happiness this weekend. And then practicing gratitude. Like, that's something big in our house.
Yes, I'm with you. That's something the older I've gotten as well, of like appreciate what I do have.
Yeah.
You know, I might be frustrated. Some things are not going my way, but look at what do I do have and I can appreciate in real time right now. So like working from home now, I'm able to be there more for my dad and help my brother out. And like I've been getting more family time that I've been putting off for a long time.
Yeah.
So having that family time is just really important.
Even more so now that your dad is getting older.
Yeah. And, 20 years from now, I'll look back on like I'm glad I had this extra time.
Absolutely.
But just also, still having a job in this crazy industry that we're in.
Amen.
Like that's the one thing. It's like, take a step back and it's like, okay, what's the positive here?
Yeah.
Okay, we still have jobs. Let's have fun. You and I got a lot of plans for 2025. We'll kick ass like we always do. Yeah. But also, it's just the other cool things we get to experience. I'm just thinking, living in California, living in the Bay Area, we're so lucky to live here.
Yeah.
There's so many great things going on. I mean, as we talked about earlier, great music happening this past weekend. There was great shows happening the last few weekends. There's always something cool going on to go out and appreciate. Just be able to go out and enjoy life. That's the other thing, too, to appreciate.
There are plenty of ways to do gratitude too. I think when you say that out loud, people think like, oh, I have to journal now. Like that's a job, like a gratitude journal. You don't necessarily have to do it like that. Like every night, our thing, whenever Cody goes to bed and we go in and pray with him, it's like prayer/gratitude. So inside of the prayer will be like, dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this beautiful day. This is what we got to do together. We really enjoyed this. We're grateful for that. And so that's our way of a family is talking about our gratitude. And it's so normal to Cody. Like he has no idea that's like that not everyone may do that. You know what I mean? Because he's done that every day of his life, his whole life.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that. So there's a guy out there on YouTube, Chris Van Vliet. He's known for being one of the top wrestling interviewers, but he has a background in TV. He currently does entertainment TV in Las Vegas. He did it in Miami for a long time, but he also has a very popular YouTube channel. But he always ends his interviews like you have your question. What
do you love about music?
What do you love about music? Chris Van Vliet, he always ends his interview. Tell me 3 things you're grateful for.
That's fantastic.
So all the wrestlers he talks to all have to come up with something, and most of the time, the question. A lot of them always say my family, my friends. They always kind of go that route, and it's like usually, what's the third thing that is the unique answer?
Yeah.
So I'm with you. In his interviews, I always get reminded what to be grateful for.
And it's interesting because the more you do that, the more you find yourself looking around in the day as you're living it, going, "Oh man, I'm really grateful for that. Like this is something that I really hold gratitude for." I've been ending my speech sessions with what was your favorite part of today?
I know.
That's my niece, Michaela.
Yeah.
She is getting her master's in speech pathology, which I'm so proud. I'm so proud.
That's the thing I love about live streaming. We get these live questions and interactions going on.
I love it.